Folks, did you really think I'd let you wait for 3 minutes for a stream like this one? There is way too much that we need to talk about. There's way too much that we get to show off. And there's way too much that you have and can to react to. Now you can see I'm in my suit, and I've explained in the past that me being in my suit is an exception. I was in my suit for PDXCon, very special event of course. And today it is also an incredibly special event because today I'm here with Tyranos, who is the lead modder behind everything Community Flavor Pack. And let's be real, the Community Flavor Pack is absolutely legendary. How you doing, Tyranos?
I'm fine, thanks for welcoming me tonight, OPV. It's wonderful.
It's nice to have you. I mean, there's so much new stuff that we can talk about and that you want to talk about in particular. So, yeah, essentially, just to sum it up for people that weren't aware, we can immediately go to the presentation right here. And I think you might learn a thing or two from the presentation itself. So, as you can see, I mean, listen, the YouTube, the Discord, we can give you all of that stuff later. I think it's even in the description. We are going to go through the African Content Showcase. We're going to take a look at, you know, what the pack might look like, the next one. And we're also going to go through a secret announcement, whatever that is, but apparently it's so special that I'm here in my suit. Now, Tyranos, I will give the mic to you. I will sometimes chime in to annoy you, but other than that, why don't you take it?
Sure, let's go then. We'll directly transition to CK, and then I will introduce everyone to my future plans, including the next 13th century pack. The first part was the, ermine cloaks.
Oh yeah, those look so good.
Yeah, and the next one is mostly more focused on clothing and hats, with, I'm sure, some content you will like. Then we'll talk about the Royal Code DLC. I know that, yeah, it really made a lot of ink. And so, based on what we know and the perspective I can see with the engines, I drew some plans. So, yeah, we'll talk about it quickly. It's going to be quite vague, of course, but just to also introduce an updated roadmap.
Quite vague. It's just going to be you saying, yeah, we're going to do everything.
Yeah. No. As I always say, only 24 hours in a day. Yeah, so
we need to make room for the Community Flavor Pack.
And finally, we'll make some Q&A. So if of course, if you have any questions, I'm trying to have my
he got the chat up. He
running.
came prepared. Yeah.
This way, so maybe try to keep your question focused on what's on screen first, and keep your unrelated questions for the Q&A session, so we don't miss your very interesting question, as we are very focused on what's on screen, and I'm sure OPV is the master here.
Yeah. Let's jump right in.
Sure, let's go.
What doesn't do it? Alright, here we go. There you go. Next one is, or first one I should say, is the African Content Pack. We're going to take a look at what is coming next for the Community Flavor Pack. I think it's, what is the word next that I use here? What are we talking about here in terms of time span?
It's more in terms of space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the next update is focused on Africa. I think it's quite anticipated, as basically 1/3 of the map is using Arabic content, mostly. I mean, apart from a few assets. So yeah, I tried to focus on it. Of course, it's an entire continent, and the sources are very difficult to find. So I came out with 40 models, and at that very moment I've done about 30. So we're about 3/4 done.
That's pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, the last ones are the ones that are difficult, that you try to procrastinate. But it's going on. So it's divided into 3 areas: Western, Central, and Eastern. In each sector, I tried to have one hat for every social layer. So
the actual social classes get different clothing with the community. That's incredible. That's a lot of content.
That's why there's 40 models. Because
Yeah.
actually,
Now it all
three,
makes sense. I thought you just did 40 models of like, I don't know,
uh,
hats.
it's actually 3 times. Royalty isn't always here, but it's 3 times high nobility, low nobility, commoners
Mhm.
for male and female. So that's 6 multiplied by 3, plus haircuts, some teeth.
All right,
And
let's take a look
jewelry.
at it. I'm
Yeah, let's
honestly,
go.
I already saw it, but like I'm so excited because there's so many really good ones. There's an entire section, I bet you know which one I mean, that I absolutely loved.
They are already mocking my French accent.
It's only natural. You don't know how
Uh,
much trash I get.
I really tried hard, but it's never going never going away. So let's go. It's sorted directly on top. It won't be in the update, but it makes it easier for us. Let's zoom in.
Oh
There.
yeah, let's go.
So let's go. The
Look at that hat.
Fulani Tengade. Uh, where is my rotation? There. So with the turban, it's a traditional hat, which is 19th century, but no sources, so
You gotta
can
get
only
whatever you
expect
can,
that-
right?
Yeah, you can only expect it was there already in the late Middle Age.
Yeah.
So it comes with a non-turban version, and that's for the low nobility. It's going to be quite static actually, because it's not it's HEM, H&M.
Mhm.
Here the Akan ducal coif hat.
I love the
Uh,
textures on that. The gold looks so good.
It's actually felt and a gold material with very tiny sculpts and a kind of a mask, African mask on the
Oh yeah.
on the front part. So those were actually already teased on Discord and here and there, and until this one wasn't, or it was maybe, yeah, but this one was as well. This one is Edo, so it's Central Africa,
Mhm.
high nobility, and it's coral pearls. So this one is entirely 3D, so it was quite an headache to structure.
Oh yeah.
Because you could make it with alpha, so opacity, and
I have
I've
no
just
idea
did
what that means, but I assume it's
Oh,
difficult.
okay. Imagine this is. I did this for the ParadoxCon, and it
Mhm.
didn't happen. But imagine this is your hat. You would have it with the textures. It would be all flat and with holes inside basically the image. And whereas here it's 3D, so you have all the parts that are actually
Mhm.
modeled. So you can see behind it, and then even see the background through the
Even yeah, the
squares.
background textures. Listen, this is not a knock on Crusader Kings 3 because nobody ever sees it, but I see it a lot when I take thumbnails, and like the back texture isn't always there. It sometimes happens.
On vanilla models. I mean, it's for optimization purpose.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, look at
this
that
is
crown.
the Macarian crown.
Look at the material. I love how you see, like, in the front there, I don't know the English term, but like you can see that like it has, it's weathered. It has been around. It looks beautiful.
Actually, I tried to make it hammered. Like the craftsman would like go with a little hammer, just shaping the gold because it's a quite soft metal. And then you have the kind of chips here, like you would go with a scissor and go his way to just carve it. Of course, it's completely. You cannot have sources on this. It's based on a painting, I guess from a church or something in Ethiopia. So it's all weathered, it's difficult to see, and you don't have any perspective, so you have to make the interpretation of it.
But that also means at the same time, right, that especially models like this one, where you don't really have anything to go on when it comes to 3D representation, it's literally you just free modeling the entire time, right? It becomes incredibly difficult.
You still have the image. You don't have to, learn the actual art codes. You just use what is existing and try to make an interpretation.
I love this. Yeah, right.
Okay, this one. is
Oh, yeah,
is a-
okay, it cuts it off. The game cuts it
yeah,
off.
yeah, a bit. You will have to change the animation. Some will accept it. So it has a crescent on top, but basically a kind of helmet. Actually, the first I did it as a helmet in the first place, and then in Discord they were like, Tyranos, that's a crown. Oh, okay. Right. So let's make it golden, and the helmet is still available.
This is the medieval tinfoil hat. Is he even got an antenna and everything? I love it. I really do.
Yeah. He is looking quite ridiculous.
What I really want to stress, and somebody pointed that out actually, how the textures interact with the light. You can really, in the community flavor pack, in the work that you generally do, you can really see the different sorts of material just based on how the light interacts with it. It is really, really impressive, quite frankly, especially when my favorite crown, I mean, I have so many favorite assets from the CFP, but I really love the Otonian crown because it's so detailed and it just like, it looks so absolutely beautiful. Look at that thing. Oh my God. Look at all these, seriously, look at all these gems. Look at how they're like put in there, you know, like the actual, you know, so that they're secure in their position. This is an incredible, incredible crown. It looks absolutely breathtaking.
This one is quite high polygons. There's a lot of detail.
Somebody said 5G ready. Yeah, the helmet comes from the future. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good connections. Ah, look at that.
That's the royal crown for East Africa, so Ethiopia. Again, based on this one is a codex, so I guess it was painted by Christians emissaries to Ethiopia, because Ethiopia converted to Christianity quite early.
Yeah.
I might say mistakes because not specialized in this sector, but so yeah, still gold and some gemstones. It's very you will see when we'll do the women's that it looks a lot like the female version. The next one, the 4 next ones, you're going to
these
like
are
them. Yeah, these are funny.
These are the great ones. Oh my God, they're so good.
Okay, let's go with the first one.
Oh, let's go. This guy has swag. Seriously, this I love not just how good it looks, but also like how big, like the difference in texture, you know, how it looks is, but also just like the actual detail in the mask. This is an amazing mask. When I saw it, you know, he sent me, so just as an explanation for the people watching, he sent me, of course, the file. He's currently on my computer. He hacked me essentially, and he's showing off things here with my CK3 game. So I saw this beforehand, and oh my God, it looks so good. This is an absolute beauty. And it's only one of them. It's only one of the masks. I really want to stress that.
Yeah, let's go for the next ones. The moon mask is this another one, but this one is
Look
dark.
at that one. I love the on top, the patterns that it has, the hair patterns. Very nice. And then, do you know, like, do you by any chance have any idea what the top, you know, the crown of the crown, essentially what it means? Or is this essentially just something that is depicted, but we can't really trace it?
It's very likely that's actually moon.
Oh, it's the moon.
Yeah.
I'm actually blind.
And probably that it turned into an Islamic crescent over time, in where Islam arrived, of course. But yeah,
this is the 5G, the 5G mask in this case. It has an antenna as well. I love it. Seriously, it looks so good.
For those who are wondering, I don't know if the question was asked, but those are assigned to non-Islamic, non-Christian court laces. And it's also bound to the full face mask rule. So if you disable this rule, they won't appear. Because I know many people don't like the fact that the head is actually covered with something.
Can I ask real quick? Somebody asked, it's an easy question. Somebody asked, can you change the masks during play?
You don't, only if you use the mod we are using, which is full screen barbershop. And if you're using community flavor pack without the full screen barbershop, you're really missing something.
100%.
In my opinion.
Yeah, seriously, the scrolling is extreme in vanilla, like in the vanilla barbershop. So if you are playing with the community flavor pack, whether you do it right now or when this pack comes out, make sure to also install Agamedays, so that is long game short. Amazing full screen barbershop. Seriously, it's so good. When we're using it, what you're seeing on the screen essentially is all full screen barbershop. It's amazing.
And if you're using boss mods, CFP and full screen barbershop, I cannot see it, but it's.
Oh, I saw it earlier. I think you got the arrow in the top left. It's currently it's collapsed.
Yeah, that's there. You unlock this artwork.
Yeah.
It's actually made from someone who worked on Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Wait, what? I was about to just say, oh yeah, okay, interesting, but now I'm like, interesting.
No, I just contacted him and I was like, would you sell your rights? So I bought it.
And it worked.
So hard that yeah, it worked. But yeah, usually the 2D artworks are just so expensive. You know.
Yeah.
This one is a bit an exception. Let's keep going. The monkey mask. Oh no, the nose. No.
The nose is seeing through.
It happens.
It does happen. Oh, I you know what?
I have the monkey on top.
Yeah, I will be honest. I looked at the face and was like, yeah, that's a monkey, right? I didn't even see the monkey on top. This is a great mask as well. What is it? Is the front one a lemur? Honestly, I know nothing about monkeys, so.
I don't know what that is.
I think it might be a lemur.
No, I have no clue. That's Edo culture, I think.
Mm-hmm. So that would be which region?
Edo, I think, is quite western or central. Between the names of the cultures that are so many and the English translation, I'm quite clueless.
Oh right, you play the game in French, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because we have, I know, English and French have a very rich medieval vocabulary, so it's quite technical. So it's quite hard to actually swap when you're just casually playing. You don't want to think too much. And
you're so used to it.
Yeah, you get used to it.
You just why change it? Yeah.
It's very rare that I actually play a game in French.
Because, this is South Nigeria, I've just been told. So essentially Central West Africa. Yeah.
The last one is the Antelope Masks.
So in-game, right? Because something that, if you haven't played with Community Flavor Pack, you might not know this. But in-game, all of these masks show up naturally, right? So this is one of those things, if a character qualifies for them, for example, he talked about it earlier, where if somebody is in a position of being non-Islamic, then that might net them more clothing options, right? Who would be wearing the Antelope Mask?
Basically, for now, it's, as I said, all courtlaces. I did not, the masks are used by All Africa. I did not
okay, yeah.
assign them to a specific region. So it's random, basically.
The more I see it, the better. Seriously, if these would never show up, I would be so sad. They look so great.
This one is quite scary. I don't like it that much. If I had the courtesy wearing this, I would change it.
People in Antelope Mask get eaten by people with Lion Mask. That's true. We need a lion.
I don't have the lion mask.
We need a lion mask.
I did sun, moon, and monkey antelope. Okay, let's go. The Benini.
Oh, look at that.
Benini, I get helmet. So that one is bronze. Again, based on I think it's a I don't know if the English is right, but it's lithography. An engraving from the 19th century. So we had nothing very specific about this one, about the funny shape. And as I told you, the crown being an iron helmet here.
The golden one is for when you've leveled up. That's how Mafia is. So this is the level 1 helmet, if you can't afford gold yet. And then the gold one is for if you have like the actual massive 5G connection. No, I gotta say though, yet here again, honestly, it's a really nice texture. It really does look like it's iron.
I really like the contrast between iron and bronze, which you can find on the MENA, Middle East, North Africa helmet from where is it? Turban. This one. Yeah,
Your Islamic helmets are absolutely gorgeous. Can we go to the one that is green and red just for a second? Like seriously, it's like. Ah, look at that helmet. I cannot seriously. I keep looking at these because they're so intricate, right? With the writing on them, absolutely beautiful.
So we are. Let's let's remove our hat.
Mhm.
You also find 3 haircuts, which are not proper haircuts. It's just some edits. No, I
Saw them earlier.
Uh,
There they are.
okay, that's just to give some variety. Basically, I took this model.
Mhm.
I just reworked it a little bit, so to give it a bit of variation, because Africans are literally poor in terms of visual variety, and you just have this kind of eye fade. I named it a little quiff, and this one,
There you go. I
which
love it.
they are based on same some traditional African haircuts. I don't like the look of it, but I tried to look for Afro hair workflows,
Yeah.
and it's very complicated.
It
I
reminds
still
me. This one reminds me a bit of I think it's Normans that wear it, right? Where they have the back of the head shaved.
the Vikings, yeah.
Oh yeah. So it reminds me of that, and I always, even with a Viking haircut, I have to laugh because it just looks like you're framing your face. People are just putting a frame around their face. I love it.
Yeah. Well, with the beard, it's even more. Yeah.
So, and what you're talking about was that African hairstyles can be like difficult to model.
Yeah, it's you see even the studio which did them for Paradox, because it's outsourced. I mean, it doesn't look like any Afro haircut. It's more like curly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I honestly, it does appear to be like, if you think about it, like if I think about it, it seems pretty difficult to actually emulate, reality in that sense.
Yeah, I honestly have no clue.
You will try, but
I will try
we gotta
for
see. Yeah.
I will try for women. They are not yet in game. It's part of the models I still have to do, but I want to try. I don't have much hopes, especially the fact that I try to stick with the visual style of the game.
Yeah.
And if you sculpt it, because this is sculpted, you cannot make it realistic. You would have to use other workflows, and in CK, I'm not sure it fits. It's going to stand out, maybe even negatively, as it looks out of
It will look
place
totally
compared to the
different,
rest.
right? Yeah.
And you will also notice in this update, it's for men, it's very limited, but I added the earrings category, so you can now customize this. In the previous update, I made the necklace one,
Yeah.
which is as well not. I mean, it lacks stuff, but now you can. So the Slavic earrings, you can now use them with any character.
It looks so good, yeah.
Yeah, those won't appear on AI though.
Aww.
Until I have more, because I don't want every Slavic guy to have the same.
Everybody has the same. It's a trend. Everybody walking around with the cross earrings.
But it's like if you use this one will appear sometimes, I think, with this one goes with
the cloak. Yeah. I gotta ask you a question from chat. I think it was a good one. The masks, right? Do they have a condition where it's like they only pop up with people? Oh, there is a mask right there. I love it.
Yeah.
So they only pop up with people that are essentially non-Muslim or non-Christian, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because actually they will spawn if the character wears the default, the vanilla African religious clothing.
It looks. Seriously, I will say that I really like the vanilla African priest clothing. I think it looks really nice, but with the mask on top, I mean, my God, it's a totally different level.
If you want to compare, I think that's the default. No, that's the step one. It might be the same one.
I don't even. Do they wear a headpiece? I don't actually know.
I think they wear this one.
Okay, yeah, no, actually,
sure.
I think I remember this. I think I remember seeing that, yeah.
I mean, it's the one they have vanilla. Oh, I don't remember which one they have, or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's go for women then.
Oh, yeah. Daura. Who else but Daura to show it off?
Okay, so let's remove her hair. just to show the. Oh, it's not fitting very fine here. No, you'll probably see better results, but I added, so you'll see right there the necklace.
Yeah, it fits so nicely. Like it really like sticks to the neck there.
Yeah, so specific for women. I will try to make one with the orange coral beads that you saw on the crown. And for the earrings, so here for women it gets more interesting. You will find for women an ebony plug earring and a bronze one.
That actually looks so good. I've never seen that in a video game. It blows my mind every time I see community flavor pack, because like just looking at that, seriously, this is actually full immersion.
So these
That's
are
really
used
good.
if you get anywhere. I think it's low nobility. Get wear. So that's a new Edgar as well.
Oh yeah.
We'll get to it in a minute, but let's check. It's actually following. Oh, 2 times I have a bad clipping, but it's actually following the way the ear is shaped.
So let's ignore the hair, right? But like the actual shape of the earring is actually fitting for the ear that it is a part of.
Yep.
Oh, that's really nice, yeah.
And you can also for those who want to use them for their European character. Let's remove her veil and let's change her hair as well because and you can it will fit the skin as well.
Yeah, very cool. How did you? Okay, I gotta ask with that though. So it's essentially just like it says whatever the skin color is, it just like takes that for the earlobe. Yeah. Oh, that's really okay. I didn't even know you could do that. Because like I've never seen anything that uses the skin texture, right? It's always just like stuff that like goes on the head or is worn as clothes. But that's really neat. Yeah, that's very nice.
This one is fitting perfectly.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's in general it should fit. Of course, there's always a bit of clipping because there are so many. There are like 9 different shapes of ears.
Yeah.
So it can clip somehow, but. Okay, let's move on. Let's not stay on this forever. And you will also, of course, find the. You will find here all the vanilla earrings that I extracted from the haircuts, and they are now available, so you can use them with any character and any haircut.
I honestly, I pay way too little attention to. Even when I play with the community flavor pack, to anything like related to the ears. But I gotta do that more because honestly the new earrings here look absolutely stunning.
It's like I made the end category and you can use this outfit, which is very typical of Western nobility in Middle Age. They had one hand with a glove, so the left one, and they could wear up to 10 rings. In average, and it was very common to have 5 rings per finger. But yeah, you don't notice it until the character just puts his hand in front of his face. I mean,
God.
Okay, let's go for earrings are okay. Blah 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 blah.
Let's go for the headwear. Yeah. We gotta zoom in for that. 100%. Oh yeah, the earrings now. Okay, of course, yeah. But look at that. I love that.
So that's a very simple veil for Eastern commoners. Then we have the Fulani turban with a little circlet, maybe it is.
Yeah, the hanging things as well. Honestly, it's just like so nice to see. Like it just looks so nice. It's just that, seriously, it's a huge, like we're still way in the stream, but I want to say, like, it adds legitimately so much. It's actually wild.
And the same with the Fulani hat, which apparently was unisex. So both women and men were
hey, everybody gets attacked by the sun. This clearly is a hat for practical purposes, right? You don't want to die. It's easy.
The next one is for Eastern Africa. a little wicker hat, which I quite like actually.
Yeah, it's a very nice looking hat.
I mean, it's very simple, but where am I? There, this one was already revealed. It's the Akan ducal circlet, so it's for the characters in Western Africa, for
Duchesses.
Duchesses, right? There.
Duchesses. It's a funny word, honestly. Like, yeah, that's them.
The same.
Oh my God.
That's the equivalent of the coral beads crown for the men.
How long does that take you? Like, I assume to some degree you can start copying, right? Like you have one string done and you can copy it onto the next location or something, because like, oh my God.
If you, unfortunately, can we maybe swap? Yeah, I think the Kanem Bornu.
Look at the guy.
Can you marry, please?
Oh, there you go. Oh, it's a child.
Not
It's
with a
betrothal.
kid! Why? Why did you do that? So.
I saw some other married people.
Second, that's they won't be dukes.
Oh, they have to be dukes?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that guy just ruined the stream. We're done here.
Yeah.
I'll see you later.
She's searching, sorry. Let's go back to our character, whatever. So yeah, those the two orange hats. I did them in roughly 2 days.
Oh, really? I mean, that's honestly, that's still like a lot of work.
The first one is just, at first you would just do the research and development to try to figure out how to have especially for the male one, to have the structure. Yeah. And once you found the way to do it, you just repeat it a second time. You're like, okay, I'm done with the first one, and I have to restart. Okay. So yeah, this one was supposed to be as well opened, but it was impossible to have the alignment.
Right. Yeah.
So I like, oh fuck off, I'm going to put felt there.
It looks really good. It looks excellent.
I tried to save the assets. The Nubian crown, I love this one.
It's so good. That one is so good.
So the male.
Why aren't there more crowns historically? I mean, that are just horns. Seriously, it looks so badass. It's like, do you want to mess with this lady? I wouldn't. I love it.
And the main one is going to be even more rich.
Right.
I've not done it yet, but it's going to keep this style with more horns and more gold. Macarian crown is the same.
Yeah.
Because I did not know if the painting was a man or a woman. And it's quite, it
looks good. It really fits, honestly.
It fits.
Would that be kingdom, right? Or is that emperor level?
That is kingdom.
Okay.
Kingdom and kingdom as well. I could swap this to empire level. That's things that I will tweak in the end with the release candidate, and some people start playing with it. And of course, can be adjusted in pieces, but so very similar style as the male one, but it's taller and has more pearls and gems. And then we have all the masks again.
Beautiful masks.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with them. Just can't go wrong with them.
Helmet. You will notice, so I always have the helmets. I always make them for male and female. Keep as with the CK standard as well. Yeah. So you will find all those also available for women, because you just want your ruler to, or even in Africa you actually have a lot of women in.
Oh yeah.
In knight position and so on, so it's important they have also their own.
I don't think anybody's ever going to complain about more assets usage, right? It's always nice.
I mean, they are literally the same, but
it just looks good. Yeah, like there's a difference like between me just seeing somebody randomly or somebody with that helmet. I'm like, yeah, we made it.
And I think there's the last thing I would like to show you,
Mhm.
and that no one else will notice. It's very likely an exclusivity for this stream. We have to find a character with. Let me check my. I don't even remember now. With Afar. You're QWERTY? Where is the A?
I am the German keyboard.
All right.
It's QWERTZ. So with a
Afar
Z, yeah. Remember
and
to change
it
top
must be-
realm. We gotta get out of the top realm.
Yep. Oh, okay. So there's a 50% chance we find the character.
Mhm.
This one isn't. You have to
Okay.
look for the.
Is it like a piercing? Are we looking for piercing? The way you describe it, it sounds like a piercing or something.
No, it's going to be the kiss. Actually, the Afar women had where is it? Here? Yes. No, it isn't. They have filled the teeth.
You
So
did wait. Okay, wait a minute. We haven't seen it yet, and I haven't seen it either. I didn't know this was a thing. You did textures for teeth?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's stupid. Okay, it was very.
No, I mean, the more the merrier, but like that's crazy.
This one isn't either. It's 50-50, so it's really no luck.
You're getting very unlucky here, it seems.
Yeah. I have to.
No,
Oh my
none of them.
No. I did. Maybe I did.
I love that we can see who we looked at by their scared pose.
Okay, whatever. I cannot find them.
There's gonna
That's
be a
boring.
screenshot later. If you want to see the screenshot, it will be exclusive to the Twitter of Tyranos. So definitely make sure to follow him on Twitter or his Discord. You can join his Discord. Oh.
Okay, I'm going to increase the statistics. Okay, I think we're done with the in-game preview. I have one more asset to show you in the actual. Yeah, here it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one is a work in progress. Why
don't we switch over here then?
Yeah. So that's the Cannon Bonu Kilted Armor. So you see that the face is a bit wider than the initial artifact, but you want to keep the face visible. So yeah, it's a bit of an adjustment.
Niku just did us a favor, just posted your Twitter. Everybody go follow the Twitter. Seriously, there's some amazing stuff to see there.
You did it, my favorite armor.
There you go.
Not finished yet.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm still. You see, I'm still learning the closing. I started doing closes. It was the old way. You had to sculpt it like clay. It was very tedious, and now I'm learning progressively the new workflows with close simulations. So it's all based on physical rendering. So you need the sewing pattern, and then it just assembles and drops, and then you can tweak the stiffness, the thickness, and all the parameters of a closing, and then you get to this. But yeah, I have to keep going.
Can I just say how happy I am that we have you? Because you know all the assets that you've added with the community flavor pack, but not just that, also somebody that like really goes, the extra mile to figure out how to do something, how to make something look good, and how to actually figure it out. Because I know that you have in the community flavor pack, you primarily have hats, right? So it's headgear primarily. And you now going and saying we want to have more clothing in there, for example, the Kanebono armor. I mean, that's just, it can't be expected, right? It's like one of those extra mile steps that are really appreciated, I think, by me and by many in the community.
The thing is, of course, the headgears are faster to do. So my initial plan when I started this project was, okay, let's start, see if people are, if there's an audience for this, and then just make many headgears because they are basically faster to do. It's pretty much the only thing you will see on your character because the camera is
it cuts off,
cutting right there. So doing close is a bit of extra. But yeah, of course, I want to progressively swap to more complex things. I first doing a worldwide a world tour of the headgears and mainstream assets, and then go deeper into the cultures and into the skills as well. Because when you are doing crones, yeah, you get very good at crones, but you don't know how to do anything else.
Yeah.
So you have to.
So I don't want to put you on the spot here, but if you had to guess for all of this work, how many hours did you actually spend? If you want to talk about it. Listen,
It's very hard.
Infinite hours. It's infinite hours.
I basically spend all my free time doing it.
Right.
When I'm not with my own family, but the Iron Corner from Body is 18 hours.
And it looks so good. Oh my god, 18 hours for one asset, and it looks amazing, to be fair, right? But
hopefully it
holy
does. I hope so. The plate armor is 10 days. With the
Excuse me?
Brigandine.
10 days?
days?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Seriously, I will never. I have seen every single community flavor pack asset, and they all look outstanding, even especially in the texture quality. Holy crap, 10 days? Thank you, seriously, thank you for all the work you do. No joke, that's crazy.
I have a question from Zipor. Do you use Marvelous Designer? I do. I suck at it, but I try to learn it. What else do we have? Yeah, basically I have 500 in-game hours, and it's just testing in and out.
Right.
So reloading texture, tweaking the model position. And yeah, I spent maybe... I think I spent at least 40 hours per week, or 30.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, that was a lot of work.
I mean, you don't get to being by far, by a huge margin, the most popular mod on the Steam Workshop, the most subscribed mod on the Steam Workshop. It doesn't happen by accident, right? Like I think it is important to stress that. Like there's a lot of love and work and passion and just you essentially never sleeping in there.
There's also not to. How can I say this? If you take a total conversion,
Yeah.
right? They have a very specific set. They have their own environment. Like if you take Lord of the Rings or even Game of Thrones, okay, it's popular, but it's already a target. People who don't like fantasy. They
Oh yeah, you
came
came out of nowhere. Like it's both that you don't have a franchise connected to you, which is good and bad. I think it's like one of those things where like you just entered the market and people were like, I just like that.
I really think the difference is that my mod doesn't change anything to the core game.
Yeah.
So people just want to play the game. It's balanced because Paradox are
You
professionals.
only add things. You don't take anything away.
It's only visual, so
yeah.
There's no new functionality that you may not like, or I try to make a rule to exclude it, like the faces or.
All right, but listen, this is more for the Q&A. I think we got enough time, but let's move through the presentation.
Let's go. Yeah, you have to move. Let's swap then. About this time is okay. Maybe?
Here we go. I did it. Sorry.
Okay. So these two slides are previews of the next pack.
The smile. The smile on this guy.
The guy, yeah. It looks dumb. So that's the next pack. So this pack, the first one is done already, and the specificity here is I try to hire freelancers. I have the chance to have a job that gives me free time and enough money to live correctly. So, and I like that talented people I work with can live from their passion. So.
Yeah.
I try to make some wealth redistribution, and so that's the list is on the bottom left. You will find the Buy Coquette. That's the very pointy hat. A chaperon that you see top. A hornet hat for women. 2 doublets. We'll see it on the next one, and a women dress that you see on the right. I absolutely love this asset. The artist doing it is very talented with clothes.
Right.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Oh. Wait.
Nine.
Here we go. We got him. We got him. This is professional. Don't worry.
Right. The doublets, based on historical assets. This book here from Charles de Blois and Charles VI. So this is more 14th century. It was initially used by the pleb.
Right. Okay.
And,
yeah. It's just easy to wear, pretty tight.
Yeah. And then it was adopted by the nobles in the 14th century. Yeah. And it became something very common at court. Of course, those are not textured. They will have all the patterns you're used to. And you can find, if you want to look at them, look for doublets, Charles de Blois or Charles VI, and they are very nice artifacts.
Google it, you will find things, and they will look significantly worse than what you will eventually see in game once Elturano.
Okay, let's move to the next one. Yeah.
Let's talk Patreon.
It's not absolutely not for promotion. It's more.
No,
like
this is for promotion. Listen. I need to jump in. Can I? Okay. Let me just do a tiny speech. Okay. I'm pretty sure, and I hope I am. But I'm a patron, right? Like I'm a patron. I mean, right? I am. Am I not? Did I forget about this? I thought I was a patron. Anyway, okay. If I'm not, then I'm gonna join immediately. But here's the thing about Patreon. CK3 is one of those mods, when you listen to the workload and to the work hours that Tyranos is bringing in, that is all obviously a labor of love. And this is not to pay him or anything, which is already insane if you think about it, because we've just talked about the hours that he puts into this. This is to make the product that comes out even better. If you have any space, I know Niku is in chat, if Niku can link the Patreon, absolutely consider joining the Patreon. And I will, by the way, make sure that I'm actually subscribed, because I'm pretty sure I am. Like, I'm pretty sure I did that. But if not, I'm going to join.
You are.
Oh, there you go. That's what I want to hear. You know, there you go. Yeah. Okay, please go on about the budget analysis.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, the point wasn't to really promote it, but more to introduce people to actual. To have a feeling. You as a consumer or a user, you get the mod, and it goes and it's like this for any mod. Of course, with 3D we have specific constraint like softwares. Like if you take ZBrush, which is the main sculpting stuff, it's 1,000 euros and 50 euros per month just for the license. But other than that. I tried. You see the prices basically is just for information purpose. So the total budget for now is almost $1,017. I still have 400 aside for the future projects will come to, and so all those models you saw. The specificity of the 13th century pack was to have only freelance stuff inside, and then you have some budgets for updates just in terms of tools and 3D market assets.
So essentially, what Patreon does for you is wherever you need a tool, you are now able to acquire it without, having to dip into your personal savings. Again, it is something that you do in your free time, so like you don't have to get it from there. And then the other 75%, which is a lot, of course, but that is essentially stuff where you say, I can do other stuff without, I don't have to learn all of these things that I can't do. Instead, I can just commission somebody and I can do stuff that I already can do, having a better workflow. That's roughly it, right?
It's not a competence issue. It's more based on time.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it takes a lot of time to learn any of these.
Or it's just to produce, actually. As I said, the plate armor was 10 days. The dress you saw is in production for 3 weeks, a month. Not full time, of course. The guy is doing it on his spare time, but that's a lot of time investment.
Yeah.
And for the benefit of the project and players, what is very difficult or very complex, I try to outsource it if the cost is reasonable, of course. But
let's go back to the dress for just a second, because you mentioned that it takes a long time, right, to actually do this dress, and I think that even I, who knows nothing of 3D sculpting, can recognize that just by how detailed, just by how interesting it looks when it comes to the would this be something I could imagine a human in? And I know that sounds really bad because it's very amateurish. Like, I actually don't know what the proper terms are, but I will say that it's very clear that there is somebody inside of that dress once, you know, it's finished. It doesn't look like something that is plastic, or it's like a, you know those huge sumo suits? It looks like something that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
It actually fits.
That's the big difference in the new workflow with that software, Marvelous. It really makes the clothing feel natural compared to what we had in the past.
Yeah.
Let's move on. So we don't dare the royal court. I'm going to be very fast on this, so we don't have any false expectations because I'm like you guys. I have no clue what's going to be in, but we also this. And we also this during the convention, which is at least more talking than the previous screenshots. As you can see, the little cushions where the artifacts would stand, I guess. The banner, the weapons on the wall. So I think that's quite the thing we can expect. And we can see here, for those who are wondering, it's clearly a concept. I think that the rooms they used for to set up all the logic, you can see the fire, for example, it doesn't have any wood on the left. So it's really just to set up the...
Listen, they had to get it out.
What's interesting?
Yeah.
Sorry,
they had to get it out. We were rioting. We were like, where are screenshots, you know?
Clearly. I would have cried. Give me
I would have. Right, okay, but yeah, go on.
What's interesting here is you can see the lights coming from the outside. So what basically means, it means that if this is my room, that's my box, you can see light coming in from a skybox inside it, which means that if there is a skybox, you can make an open environment. You can basically make a sky outside, or turn this into a sky and have some grass, some trees, some houses, and you can make a village. Or you don't.
What you're saying is we can change like the code, like look, like, you know, not that you're gonna do that, but like it could be a garden, for example. Is that where you're coming from? That you could totally change?
I mean, as long as there is a skybox support. I mean, even if there's no skybox support, but if you have a sunlight in the scene, you can basically turn it in whatever you want. You would have a sky far in the distance of the model, if it's not limited in size, and then you would try to fill it so the player cannot see any void.
So what you're saying is, since you aren't making any promises that is something that you're gonna work on, we can all basically assume that the Elder Kings 2 team will have every single Daedric realm depicted as a code, right? That's where we're coming from.
I think that technically, from what I can see, you could have something outside, and I think they have some 3D scenes already in their events. I've not dug into it too much because that's not doing events isn't the thing that interests me the most. But of course, if you want to make a Bedouin tent in the desert, well, you just have to make this skybox, a dune with the horizon, and that's it. And you put your tent, and you have a Sahara or a desert throne room.
Right, just as a disclaimer, he did not just promise to do a Sahara throne room. Okay, I wanna make that clear, because otherwise he got a lot on his plate already. Let's not assume he's gonna make a Sahara throne room, okay?
Yeah, but then you can expect many things. I think I really hope they're going to add this bear from their trailer. Like, you know.
Yeah, right. The bear that. Yeah, I remember that.
We want Glitter Roof back in 3D. I will do it.
You will see. That's the thing, though. Like, of course, you can't promise anything, but what you're describing is really interesting. That the opportunities that, at the very least, are present or are likely to be present. Let's phrase it. You know, because the CK3 devs haven't promised us anything either. Like, you know, but they are pretty large. Right? That's essentially what you're getting at. That there's a lot that likely can be done, not just in terms of animals or artifacts, but also in the actual location and that sort of stuff.
All the mystery about all this is what is going to be the engine limitations that will prevent you from doing it. Currently, they talked about weapons. We can expect modularity at last, a modularity where you can change the weapons your marshal has, for example. And we can, and it's not engine limited, but if you want to code it, it's going to be a big stack of spaghettis, and I don't really want to get into it.
Yeah.
It's complicated to maintain, and they're going to change all the code for it, so hopefully I didn't do it.
Right. Yeah.
It's always about engine limitations. I'm doing some lobbying to try to have them raise some.
Oh, that's why you
limitation.
came on. I understand how it is.
I try. All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
I think we'll talk maybe about it in the Q&A.
Yeah.
What's next? Oh yeah, that's the roadmap.
Oh yeah.
Very quick as well. Of course, you know that this is coming probably in September. We don't know yet. Later this year. I would love to have some steppe and Indian stuff. I will try to make it, but the time is going to be narrowing down quite fast. Some what I named Men of Gods, with religious stuff, like Jews don't have anything. Okay.
Right.
But
Yeah.
they had in the Middle Age. They already had some symbolic stuff they wore, like some hats. We can across all Europe they had those hats, so I want to have them in.
Want to flash that out? Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah. I want to also give credits to the guys who are helping me, like Atwar, who is doing 2D, and you can see on the right some patterns he did.
Shout out to Atwar. Looks great.
So I would, and it requires some 3D at very small scale, but it requires some 3D software pass on the material to make it look like it's sewed and nice with all the correct lighting. So I would love to dedicate an entire update on patterns.
Very exciting. It is exciting, but it doesn't sound exciting. I gotta tell you that much. And then right, no, but I getcha. I will say also that I'm very impressed by how realistic the actual lighting and the 3D sculpting there looks. Very nice.
Yeah, it's applied on a model you probably found on internet, but
if it works, it works.
It works.
Yeah.
That's just some sketches, but that's concept.
Yeah.
And the next slide is about the historical documentation. I received the very helpful input from Darnok the mage and Uriel. So they helped me finding sources, proper reenactment images. Uriel loves to take a drawing. You have some Middle Eastern paintings or old artifacts, and he just turns this into a drawing, so it's a bit easier to comprehend. So this was for some patterns, but he also does it sometimes with clauses. So it helps a lot, and you can see down below a link to the suggestion box where the community can just throw in many assets. You can comment and add more historical data. It helps because, of course, if I have an image, you can see by the way, the Jewish hat on the very far right. But it helps me with picking the right stuff, having as many representation of it, so I can make something that looks like what it could look in reality if we don't have any surviving assets. So that's a big part of the work that I don't have to do, hopefully, thanks to them and thanks to the many contributions I have in the Discord, is actually on finding images, finding data, articles, and so on. So
make sure to join the Discord if you haven't. There is a lot of open discussion, and Tyranos is there. Like, he will listen to your pleas to implement even the most benign of assets. Whether he does it, there's a lot of only 24 hours in a day, like he says, but he will listen.
In the suggestion box, you can vote.
Oh yeah, there you go.
It helps me like catching what the community wants. I know that for Men of God, I have so many requests and for the Cardinal robe.
Right.
Yeah. So of course it's considered when it's so popular.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. I think we
That's
can.
it. What's
Yeah.
what's the next thing that we're gonna do? What's that
Wasn't
all about?
wasn't wasn't it something secret? Secret?
Oh, a secret
Yeah.
announcement
I mean, it's secret.
in this channel.
It's small. It's small secret. It's more like a small teasing.
Gigantic secret is what I would call it. Give me a hot minute here. Gonna set us up. We gotta be quiet here because now here comes secret announcement. All of you, I hope you will enjoy. And check it out. And there we go. The news is that Tyranos and the Community Flavor Pack will make their way all the way to Victoria 3. They don't stop until it's time to stop, and it's never time to stop. Tyranos, how do you feel about Victoria 3?
I did not play the Victoria 2, and I suck with Grand Strategy because I don't have time to play it. But I really like the setup. I really like the time period. I really like the announcement they made that the politics would be central, because the 19th century is really the century, and they say it very well in the trailer, that shaped the current political systems we have nowadays. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. It's also a great challenge because the Victorian clothing is so complicated.
See, I gotta ask you there, and I think that's the time for the next slide. What do you even do in Victoria 3? It's not Crusader Kings 3. Like what do you edit there?
So so that's what it teased in terms of 3D. So obviously we are not going to see any kind of barbershop, and the character customization isn't going to be
I think that was me. Oh no, here we go. Okay.
Is it me?
Oh, go on. That was me.
Isn't going to be central at all, but we can see. I think those are pop screen or rulers.
Yeah, pops and rulers. They both are actually characters. There's so much to add there, essentially. Yeah.
So that's of course purely hypothetical, but we can. I don't think we can expect them to cover all the cultures within 100-year.
There are so many cultures. Yeah.
And I mean, it's always nice if the pop is going to show a random hat or I don't know. We'll see. And of course, visuals are not bound to characters. You can expect modding units, environment, the map, the buildings.
Also, the map and the buildings themselves as well. Because just so you know, I did a video on Art of Victoria 3. And it seems to be, and this is speculation, I have no secret information, sadly. I would tell you first, Tyranos, and then I would get sued and probably go bankrupt. But essentially, it seems to me like these cities are actually, essentially they're built depending on how many people actually live in it. You know, if people are rich, the city itself changes. So there is a lot, from what I can tell, to go around there in terms of assets, you know, because the city faces all over the world will be different depending on how wealthy, how poor, how developed, what sort of industries in the city, etc., etc.
And you can, I think they are going to do it a bit, and maybe not in detail, but you have the red bricks in in England and northern France.
Yeah.
And then it turns to a different kind of stone. So the industrial urbanization is different based on place. so they will likely cover it a little bit. But one can add more flavor to it and more deepness.
I
And
mean,
on
you
the
know, that's the
characters-
thing though. CK3 already has great assets, and then you come in and just completely destroy all of us with this sort of like asset wave that you just, you know, bring in, and all of a sudden the game feels like something totally different. I assume that Victoria 3 is going to have a lot of assets as well, but honestly, I trust you. I think it's I'm incredibly excited for the community flavor pack Victoria 3 because it can only be incredibly wild.
Yeah, and although let's be honest, I don't think it's going to be as wide as CK for the reason I told you that the ruler isn't the core mechanic, which is the case in CK3, so they won't give it as much attention.
Oh yeah.
So it's very likely that I don't do as much as I did in CK because of obviously if you cannot change your clothes, what's the point?
Yeah.
If it's just random, you're going to give it a bit of randomness or evolution over time. So it's not as complex, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't stop to closing. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what Paradox come with. I'm just saying one thing.
Yeah.
The barbershop is in the engine. The barbershop is in the engine.
We're gonna make it have a barbershop. See, the way I see it, obviously, dear viewers, this was the very polite and humble El Tyranos. I'm sure we're gonna see a very impressive, whatever time allows, whatever the options allow. But I would be very surprised if it wasn't gonna be a very impressive mods, and one of the mods that you will be using no matter what. I would, you know, like, because even if you say, oh, there's not going to be that much range in it, I think people appreciate looking at, you know, for example, as you said, over time at their pops, and the pops might all of a sudden dress in a more modern way, because that's just how it developed. I would absolutely love it. I'm looking forward to it, seriously. Huge fan of you making the announcement. I think it's going to be a game changer for Victoria 3, just like it was for CK3.
Thanks. Dude, just one thing just came to my mind. Do you see the screenshot on the screen? You can see the intelligentsia, petite bourgeoisie, industrialist. They all have the top flat hat.
They do.
Yeah, do. So yeah, that's not good. We want
it's a good starting point. That's where most people will see.
What's this armored forces guy doing without a forage hat?
All right, yeah, he does need an officer's head.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
So maybe we should move on to the
Absolutely.
Q&A.
Yeah, let's do it. So, folks, if you got any questions, you can pose them in chat right now. I'm gonna quickly switch us over to the big cameras because this is a professional stream. I got a first question here. I would like to ask you, Tyranos, because, you know, it's one of those things. I never had you on the radar in CK2. I played a lot of CK2. I did a lot of content covering CK2. I don't think you did any modding in CK2. How did you get to modding CK3?
It's very simple. I was playing CK2 a lot. It's a game I love. And I spent a lot of time on it. I had good fun making a new history inside it. And when I saw the 3D characters, I was in a time of my life where I had to change projects. I had to see something else to change engine because I was modding for Arma 3.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
I was quite fed up with their engine and whatever. So I needed some fresh air, and I saw some medieval sims. I never did a crone. I can make helmets and tanks and submachine guns, but what about a crone? Like,
okay, I gotta go a bit further back then though. How did you start doing 3D modding? Because I know so many people, and none of them know 3D modding.
I actually started when I was 14.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so it was 2004 on Call of Duty 1. And I was doing, yeah.
You were having a fun time with my mother, weren't you? I know how Call of Duty goes.
I was doing level design.
Right,
So
that's really
basically,
cool.
my what I loved was doing the buildings, and I was already going on the field taking pictures
Mhm.
and redoing the
Wow.
buildings. And my father was like looking at me with a stopwatch, and he was trying the level design because you couldn't like have a beta or you didn't have Discord. Everything was on forums, and you had to learn like the
Wow.
reading like English, which was a challenge already for me. And so my father, when I was at school or doing my homeworks, he was taking his stopwatch and doing uh, time checks just to be sure that okay, the guys are going to meet here. You want to add a tree here because they are going to
Oh,
snipe
that's
all
so
over the
good.
map.
Wait, so
Uh,
but so he was like supportive of it?
yeah, I was
Oh, that's
like, he
really
was,
nice. You
yeah.
know, I'm not asking. Like, obviously, there's nothing wrong with 3D modding, but like, it's such a niche hobby. That is amazing. That you started so young. That is really cool to know.
Yeah, and then I stopped for a long time. I came back. I played Arma, and I want to mod it. I want to get World War II in there, uh, and so I started to edit the models. And quickly I was like, okay,
Mhm.
the 3D workflow changed so much that I basically learned everything back from scratch. Actually never used the proper 3D software before 2014. I was doing level design in case, so it
So
was
it's a
different.
long way, and I mean now we're here with again by far the most subscribed mod in CK3, and by far somebody asked in chat. I think it's an adequate question. How are you so fast at modding? Because quite frankly, it's the amount of content, the quality of content, it's all completely insane. That's really interesting that you have the entire like back to draw from your personal history there.
Oh, there's several things. I think I have what's specific about my personal evolution is that I actually worked more editing things that were in the engine already. And Arma engine is very complex
Mhm.
and very old as well. There are parts that were coded 20 years ago. So I think I have a good understanding of these 3D limitations, of the engine limitations. And instead of I don't have an artistical background. Okay, I did science mostly, and
You're just that
uh,
good. Like you're not even
I,
talented in it. You're just like I just got it.
no, I mean, I reversed engineered it. Ah, shit, I cannot say it. I reversed engineered it.
Reverse engineered. Yeah. We got it.
Yeah.
We gotcha. We
Uh,
gotcha.
so I actually don't know how to do the fancy stuff you will see on Outstation. That's completely out of my skill
Ah.
range. But I got a good workflow at doing what games need, and I don't do anything useless when I make a model. I
Yeah.
just want to have a 3D model for a game that is optimized and that looks like the standard, visual standard. And I know how to do this. And then I just spend a lot of time doing it. But yeah,
I can
I,
somewhat empathize because like I also learned like anything editing and anything recording and anything really like on the job, right? And you really pick up the knowledge that you need, but that's also it. When I look at, for example, personally at like sound professionals, I'm like, I know how I can do my stuff. That's all I need to know. I'm good.
this, of course, I would like to learn more and be more
Hmm.
versatile, and that's where the Victorian stuff is going to be very
Oh yeah.
exciting for me as well for my own development. But yeah, I don't really. I saw Niku saying I'm skilled. Yeah, no, I don't. There's a bit of skills in everyone who has a bit of talent, but I think the very core um, thing, and I saw it in the university, is you just work, and the guys who stand out, they are just dumb. It's like in sports, the best sportsmen, they are just dumb with it. Just do this all day long, and they don't. Of course, they have a little something at the start, but it's just working at actually, which is
Yeah.
not something I like, by the way. But it's just, I just like 3D, and that's it.
You like 3D, you learn 3D, and you're doing amazing stuff with 3D. Now here's the biggest question. When is this suit gonna be in the game? People need to know, Eltoran. I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding.
I need more Marvelous tutorials. Yeah.
No, of course.
It would be actually fun, but yeah.
What do you think about, what are your feelings about the, I mean, we know how you feel about the throne room, that you see it as a huge opportunity for basically every modder, in particular for yourself, of course. How do you feel, not just with your opportunities, but also with how people will be able to perceive of the work you do? Because, you know, obviously you're going to see people they depicted them in their full scale, instead of just, you know, from the neck up, essentially. We're going to see artifacts and so on. So what is this something that for you personally, because of course it will display your work better, that personally, for example, motivates you, that you can say, hey, it's actually going to be so much better depicting what I do?
It's I think the full screen barbershop does this very well already.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like at least I can do something different.
Okay, so you like the opportunities more than anything.
Like, well, just stop doing crones and make a throne room, because that's my initial drip with 3D is doing architectural 3D. So I'm very happy to be able to make some medieval throne rooms or churches, whatever. I'm quite happy with it. It's going to change as well, artifact as well, to make weapons. Yeah, just not hats, crowns, armors, hat, crowns, armors.
Right now, when you decide what to make, right? Obviously, a big influence are the people that talk to you. A big influence are the people that are on your Discord, for example, that vote on things and so on and so forth. But is there any sort of priority? Like, did you, for example, do you have a list that says these cultures have the least flavor, and I would like to add some flavor? I know that you mentioned that anything really that fits Jewish culture is something that you really want to add, because there's basically nothing for it in the game, right? It's fairly ignored. Is there a list, or, you know, is it just like, hey, you know, whatever the wind blows into the house via the polls?
The thing is, the cultural content is actually quite scarce in CK, when you really get into it. So there's a very large room, and could keep doing this for years. I try. My initial plan was, okay, let's start Western Europe, because that's where players are playing the most. And then
for sure
try to go expand everywhere. And then when I focus on a specific region, I really get that. So that's where the feedbacks and the suggestions are come into play, because of course I'm not a medieval historian. My favorite historical period is the World War II. So I basically came into CK3 like, okay, I want to make some crowns. Okay, what's a medieval crown? What does it look like? I was like clueless. So yeah, it's also a lot of some reading and trying to pick what is relevant. That's really the thing. You want assets that are relevant of a time period and a region. So you take the chaperon. It's culturally representative of 14th century,
right?
Where when before it was the Oud. So you have assets like this, and it's really trying to imagine what people would usually look like, because you cannot do everything, and try to make something nice out of it, assign it to a region or a culture, and there you go. And then you try to add more there and more here, and so people can, when they play it, when the African pack is going to drop, people will say, okay, that's time for doing an Africa run and enjoy a bit more variety and play around with the assets, have a nice court. And of course, when the Royal Court is going to drop, it's going to be even more exciting this reason. Yeah. I think they planned the four throne rooms, which were Western, Middle East, India, and Mediterranean.
Exactly, yeah.
So what about the steppe, the Vikings? Did I say northern? No, not northern.
I mean, Northern fits Vikings, I guess, right? Like it's like,
Sub-Saharan Africa.
yeah.
I mean, Iberia. There's so many architectural options.
You're gonna be busy. You're gonna be very, very busy, I feel.
I'm not sure that's actually good news. I see. I really anticipate to see what the engine can.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be very interesting for you in particular. I mean, like the thing about it is, and I just wanna highlight that you are within the Crusader Kings 3 community. You are one of the few 3D modders to begin with. You wouldn't believe how many pleas for mercy I have heard of total conversion mods, because every single one is like, there's a million 3D assets, and it's true, you know, you can depict it just as it is, or you could have like individual assets, and then there's you, like just pumping out essentially assets that really fit the vanilla base game. So I think I have to say, thank you very much for how active, for how absolutely unexchangeable essentially you are in the community. But I think you already essentially knew that, just judging by the 150,000 subscribers that are appreciative of your work. I do hope that we will see more work going forward, especially with the throne room. I hope that we see more work, of course, with Victoria 3 as well. It would be absolutely amazing. I mean, you already mentioned it. You know, CK3 sits down and has 4 throne rooms, which is quite a number, but there are so many more areas that could have their own throne rooms. And I think the same will be true for Victoria 3. So I'm very, very hopeful for that. I hope that we're going to see that. Let's take a look. Maybe we got one more question. You got anything that you want to take a look at? I can ask you about... Thank you, Mook Book, by the way. Do you know what Crisis of Confederation is? Of the Confederation?
I think isn't it a game name?
No, okay, maybe it is. I don't know, but this is it was a Crusader Kings 2 space mod essentially, an original universe, and everybody was running around in space cadet jackets and whatnot. Look very cool. Now the question is, if you had the time, and I really want to stress, if you had the time, because you won't, but if you had the time, would you be interested ever, just, you know, as an idea, to model future, so like space, where to begin with? Because I know that you're very interested, of course, in the Victorian era. You're very interested in, just on a private level, very interested in the topic of the 20th century. Is space something that interests you?
I'm actually a Star Wars fan, so I like space stuff. But no time.
Yeah, you got no time. Listen.
I want to say still that for the community that in grand strategy game there is literally no culture of 3D, and of course I come from nowhere and have this background that does that I can pump out content and people are happy to play with it. But it's also going to take a bit of time for the modders who are already playing CK to adapt and learn and be able to produce stuff. It will happen, and the future game from Paradox will likely have more 3D aspects that the experience gained in CK3 will, of course, move on there to Victoria or whatever other game. But and for anyone who wants to try, feel free to try 3D. It's really overwhelming. I'm not going to.
That's not a good sale. You're not making.
Going to lie. But it's worth the try, because it's overwhelming, but it's not that hard if you have a good sense of geometry and perspectives. And nowadays you have YouTube, you have tons of tutorials. The softwares are quite ergonomic. They are quite ergonomic compared to 10 years ago.
Right, yeah.
It's really...
It's not an easy path, even then, right?
It's not, but if you like it, and if you just take an asset you like and try over and over and over to get it in game until you like it, and you will probably redo it in 1 year, but at least you will have finished something. The very hard part at the beginning is to actually finish something, because you hit a big block and you're like a big blocker and you're like, that's not for me, I'm stopping. But that's where you fail at it. If you were just going to overcome this part, you finish your asset, it looks like shit, but you did it and you learn so much more than just doing the first part and skipping. And it's really a game of Perseverance. Yeah.
Yeah, Perseverance. Yeah, you gotta stick with it, right? You gotta. Yeah.
And and again, I would not really don't want to stress that I don't have a specific talent. Someone asked for my art station. Well, if you go to any other art station, you can see really better stuff, and I don't consider myself as employable because I'm too specifically working on a specific setting. I am not versatile enough, but artists, you have really better artists elsewhere. It's just going to come eventually to CK over time, and some young guys who are still in high school and have nothing else better to do will learn 3D and get to it, and it will develop over time, I think.
All right, I hope that the 3D community does indeed grow. It is a very rocky path, no doubt about it. There's a lot of work that needs to go in before you know are at the level of Tyranos. But I mean, Tyranos put the work in, and that's how you get to that degree. And I hope that he gonna put in much more work. Although that is a lot to ask, but
I will try also to have more tutorials in over time. I did one about importing, but you already need to make the 3 part. For the ParadoxCon, it was unfortunately rescheduled, but we had a modding panel where I was supposed to introduce my workflow. This will happen sometime soon, hopefully.
All right, stay tuned, everybody. Definitely, please do join his Discord. Just for the record, if anybody got Niku, if you got the link to the Discord, because I think that somebody like you showcasing your workflow is very important to especially people that are newcomers to the 3D modding scene.
Yeah, just I don't know if it's going to work. Let me paste the Discord. Maybe.
You can send it to me in Discord if you can't.
Not sure.
I didn't.
Let me retry. There. It's not it's sent to the.
Let me throw it out unless it's already been posted. Let me.
Ah, that's a new invite.
We got a new invite.
There you go.
We got 2 different invites now. Thank you, Niku. Thank you, Niku, very much. And I do want to stress again that it's some absolutely outstanding work. I hope that it became a bit clearer just how much weight is basically in these tasks. Just how much you really put into it. Because it's at the end of the day, there's always a bit of a disconnect, I think, between the modder and the player. Because obviously for the player, it's you open the game, you install it. It's very easy these days in particular. And then you look at it and you're like, that's nice. And there it is, right? But the actual hundreds of hours of work that go into that are obviously not always that visible. It's just natural. So I want to say thank you very much for coming on today. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that everybody, of course, enjoyed the updates to come. And yeah, if you want to say anything, then absolutely feel free.
Oh, I really want to thank you, PV, for the opportunity to talk here.
Absolutely.
And I hope that everyone in the audience learned some stuff and enjoyed the new content coming. Yeah, of course, I look forward to share more content and more info on the workflows and more teaching. Of course, it takes time always. It will come at some point. I will be bored. I will be like, oh, I don't want to make any phone. So I will do some tutorials instead. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So I think there's stuff to look forward to, both on the player side, but also on the modder side. Honestly, there's a lot of good stuff coming, and I really want to say thank you for you being a part of the community. I think it's absolutely massive to have somebody that is this open to helping others and that is this open about the work that they put in. So yeah, again, thank you very much. And I know, again, very humble, I do want to stress there's a Patreon. If you want to see more commission stuff, for example, and feel absolutely free, I think the mod and the quality of the mod do deserve it. But it's up to you, and you should never spend any money that you don't have. So please, don't invest your Bitcoin or your Dogecoin or whatever the hell is out there. Just, just say it. All right. But with that being said, I think that's it from us. And yeah, cheers.
Hello, thank you.